Hello and welcome to another video. This is another reading vlog, weekly vlog, which I'm enjoying doing because it is just kind of taking you along a week in my life. So yeah, it seems like a good content idea, just reading different sort of books, kind of themed. I mean, I do have one that's coming up that's gonna be like Dracula themed for, I think it's like the 26th. So for that week, because 26th, I believe, is the date where it's actually like Dracula Day to celebrate Dracula by Bram Stoker. So, you know, I'm actually enjoying doing these reading vlogs and just taking you along for a week in my life. So yeah, this week isn't technically themed. I'm still just working my way through my TBR. So I've got 4 books that I think I can get done this week, so possibly, and I shall tell you why. So first of all, I'm already about halfway through The Island by Catherine Cooper, so the plan is to finish this. I then have 2 short stories, well, very short books. We've got The Railway Children and we have Charlotte's Web, which are both books that are on my TBR. And then I have seen as well that Girl, Woman, Other is available in audiobook. So I'm thinking that if I finish this fairly quickly, I think the audiobook version of Girl, Woman, Other isn't available until Wednesday. So I could fit in the 2 short books this week as well, and then start on Girl, Woman, Other, have it as audiobook. I'm going to be reading both, mainly physical, but the audiobook is going to be there for when I'm doing work or doing chores or anything really. So that's the plan. Stuff that we're actually doing this week, I mean, this evening I'm going to my parents for dinner and giving them their anniversary gift because it was their anniversary last Thursday. And then I'm going to my grandparents' house to give my nan her birthday gifts because it was her birthday last Wednesday. So that's what I'm doing this evening. Wednesday, I believe that I have a friend coming over. We're probably just going to chat and have a cup of tea, basically pause looking at her car. So that'll be Wednesday evening. Well, Tuesday I have to do a food shop. So that's tomorrow. I have to do a food shop. Wednesday, obviously a friend coming over. Thursday, we might just have a chilled one because it's been very full on recently. And I mean, Thursday, Friday, if it's sunny weather, then we'll probably do a bike ride. So we'll see. We'll just see how it plays with those 2 evenings. Saturday, we are heading to Surrey to celebrate 2 of my friends' birthdays. They have their birthdays on the same day. We're in the same group of friends. They always tend to celebrate together. I'm just having a barbecue. It's gonna be fun. And then Sunday we're going to be getting a lot of stuff organised in the house. We need to sort out the shed. We've got this concrete shed and the garden. So it's gonna be quite a full week actually when I'm thinking about it. But yeah, it is what it is. The plan is to just continue reading, take you along with me on my week in my life, and yeah, let's get this reading vlog started. I'm going to start with just reading. I'll give like an update on this later, but yeah, I'm going to start this now. It's about coming up to 11:30. I'm just going to continue reading this for the rest of the day really. Obviously I am working. When the phone rings, I do have to answer the phone, but it's going to be mainly about this. Hello, I'm currently filming from my kitchen. As you can see over here, there's no ceiling. Everything is going to be ripped out soon. As you may have seen on my channel before, we are in the middle of renovating. So yeah, that's why this is all a bit all over the place, and excuse my hair as well. But I've just been to my nanny granddad's. So I went to my parents first, had dinner with my mum, and then went on to my nanny granddad's. and I have got a massive sack. It is literally a massive bin bag full of goodies. I just wanted to show you what I got, because yeah, I'm super pleased with my haul that I got from my nan and granddad. So I don't see them as often as most people see their grandparents. I think I see them like birthdays, Christmases, like holiday type things. I see them, and they tend to know that obviously I love books and I love tea, so I've got a load of that, but I've also got something else that's really cool as well, so I want to show that as well. So first of all of the tea that I've got with this, which is, I feel like, a very good, really cool box. Oh, it's a bit shiny, isn't it? So this is like a pure, is it Ceylon black tea? And we've got some dark mint tea, which basically has peppermint menthol, just by Twinings. And we've got a bag here of Dorset tea, which we've got a load of different types of ones. We've got fruits, chamomile, green tea, a load of different Dorset tea sachets, and then we've got another bag here. I don't know if you can see that. It's just absolutely full. We've got like wild fruit orange, we've got some whittled Chelsea tea, some lemon tea, we've got loads and loads of cool, really nice tea. So I'm looking forward to each of those. And then the books that I got. So these are books that my granddad has picked up and has read and has decided to pass on to me. So we've got this one, which was actually like an ARC that came out in 2019. So he's obviously picked this up from a almost like a free law library type thing. And this, he did say, does have some political elements to it, but once you get past that at the beginning, then it's a really good read. We kind of following two teenage brothers, and they kind of meet someone who comes across as a bit of an alcoholic, and they get talking to him, and he believes he has information about the future, information that would change 3 lives forever. And it kind of sounds very intriguing to me. My granddad said that he absolutely thought it was superb. So it's called The End of Time, and it's by Gavin Extents, which I've never heard of before, and I've never heard this author before, but I'm really keen to give that a go. And then we have a Peter May book, which is Cast Iron. We have a Lee Child book, which is Die Trying. So this is one of the Jack Reacher thrillers. Both of those I really like, and a Val McDermid book as well, which is How the Dead Speak. So those are 3 books that, you know, I know the authors very well. I know I'm going to enjoy them. It's going to be a good time. We've then got 3 that I've not heard of before, but we've got Fellside by M.R. Carey, which I believe is a thriller. It does say, let me just read this to you. So you will find Fellside somewhere on the edge of the Yorkshire moors. It is not the kind of place you'd want to end up, but it's where Jess Molson could be spending the rest of her life. It's a place where even the walls whisper, and one voice belongs to a little boy with a message for Jess. Fellside will be the death of you if it doesn't save you. So it's meant to be a thriller, but it kind of gives me some like horror type vibes. So I think that sounds very interesting. Then we've got The Venice Conspiracy by John Trace, which I kind of feel like is probably going to be like a fast-paced action style book by looks of things. It basically says on here, when an ex-priest, Tom Shaman, jaded from years in the LA ghetto, decides on a last-minute trip to Venice, he gets much more than the break he'd been hoping for. A brutal killer is on the loose, and Tom finds himself catapulted into a series of ritualistic killings unlike anything Venice has ever seen. Enlisted by the Italian police, Tom teams up with investigator Valentina Morazzi to dig deep into the city's darkest history, stretching from an ancient civilization in 700 BC and the sexual decadence, that's how you say the word, of 18th century Italy to the gritty underworld of modern day Venice. As Valentina and Tom trace the killings through the centuries, they uncover a deadly secret, a secret the generations have killed to protect, a priceless Etruscan mosaic known as the Gates of Hell. And it does say, fast-paced and chilling, the Venice conspiracy takes the reader on a terrifying ride through a city in the grip of a deadly secret. So it does sound kind of interesting, doesn't it? This came out back in 2010. So yeah, I am intrigued by that one as well. And the last we've got one which looks like it's more of a fantasy, and this is set in England, 1470. Obviously it's like kings, that sort of thing. This one again kind of gives me like a bit of Game of Thrones vibes as well. So yeah, that's another one that I'm looking forward to. Just bear with me 1 second. I think, oh no, he stopped now, so that was Bruce the Rabbit. We're going to let him out in a second. Lastly, I'll just quickly show you this, and then I'll let him out so it's not. So I've got some hot chocolate sticks. So I've got some of those. And then I have a whole box of these, which are Belgian chocolate bombs that you put into milk. And they've got like marshmallows. I absolutely love chocolate bombs. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to this. Definitely going to give these a shot soon. So yeah, I've got lots of hot chocolate things. I've got 7 books and a whole bunch of different flavours of tea. So yeah, I just wanted to come on really just to show you. So yeah, I'm basically going to do my skincare and just basically get ready for bed. I'm going to, well, obviously sort out Bruce, because you can obviously hear him. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly show you my little, whoa. I have a reading update. So, oh God. I have finished The Island by Catherine Cooper. So this basically follows a bunch of journalists and social media influencers, and they get called upon this PR trip to this new resort that's opening in the Maldives, and it's meant to be like this 5-star resort kind of thing. And at the same time, we're also looking at in the past when the owners of this resort were at high school, and they went to this very prestigious school. They had a very wealthy father, and they basically ran these, what you would call balls and parties, and a lot of things happen at this party, which I won't go into detail about, but something does happen at one of the parties, and we are then in the present at this resort in the Maldives. We have a bunch of guests, and there's basically a storm that cuts them all off on this island, and then some of the people start to die, and we're kind of figuring out who amongst the guests could be the killer and what their motives are and all of that. Now this book I think is perfect if you're on holiday, like sat on the beach. It's very much what you'd call like a popcorn thriller. You want to read on because you want to, you know, see some of these reveals, and you know, there's something about it that did make me want to read on. It did. But at the same time, I wouldn't say the writing is amazing, and the characters are very unlikable, and I kind of feel like we already know very early on what is going to be revealed at the end, and then when it does get revealed at the end, it is fairly rushed and like everything is in one go. So there are some flaws to this book. So whilst I can see why people would love to read this if they just want your popcorn thriller while sitting on the beach or by the pool, I kind of feel like there's something missing with this. I do have another book by Catherine Cooper, and it kind of looks like this author does all of the same sort of stories where you'll have like a few people, someone gets murdered. It could be either one of those. So almost like a locked room mystery, but obviously this one is set on a Maldives island. But I think she kind of goes along with the same sort of idea. I mean, I am going to read others by this author. I mean, it's very good for like, you know, when you just want something easy and light to read. But I wouldn't say this is like groundbreaking, amazing fiction. I'm going to give it 3 stars because, oh God, excuse me. Whilst, just need to start choking them. Yeah, whilst there there were things about it that I could see why it could be a good read. I kind of feel like there was a lot in my personal opinion where I just kind of feel like it fell a bit flat. And there was a lot of repetition as well. There were some phrases that were repeated like 2 or 3 times on the same page, which I kind of just didn't really get. I kind of feel like some editing could have been done more with this book, because there were like some parts in the book where I was a bit like, why would an editor not pick that up? So yeah, so mixed views on this, I think, but I did enjoy it, and it was good to get me into a thriller and get me out of a slump and all of that sort of thing. So it was good for that reason. But yeah, there were some things which I wasn't particularly impressed with the book. But I would recommend it if you're going to be sat by the pool or on the beach and you just want something light and easy to read. Next, I'm going to read this, which is only about 160 pages. It's very short. It's The Railway Children. This was for a prompt which had, you needed to have like kid, child or children in the title. So I went for this because I was like, it would be quite good to read now in between the larger books. So I'm going to read this. I should be able to get this done this afternoon. What time is it? It's coming up to 1 o'clock. So yeah, I could probably get this done this afternoon. My plan is to read this and then possibly Charlotte's Web, and then go into Girl, Woman, it's called Girl, Woman, Other. Because I now have the audiobook for that. I've downloaded it. So it's going to be good for when I'm walking to and from work on both Thursday and Friday. So that is the plan. Obviously I want to mainly read it physically, but I do have the audiobook as well. So plan is read this today, and if I finish in good time, then I will start Charlotte's Web, so I can finish that tomorrow and then make a start on Girl, Woman, Other. I'll see how this one goes though. That is the plan. So let's get back to reading. I've got a cup of Earl Grey tea, so I'm basically going to get back to reading this. I'm wearing, I've still got my pyjama top on. So it's like got what is it, like UFOs and skeletons, and it's basically just a Halloween pyjama top. But yeah, so plan is to spend the afternoon reading The Railway Children. A very quick little reading update, because it's like 5 o'clock. I'm only about 40 pages in. I haven't read as much of this as I would have liked this afternoon, but I'm going to carry on reading for like another 45 minutes or so, see how I go. I just wanted to say that I'm really enjoying this and I'm very surprised. So we're basically following a family who were very rich and they end up being very poor, and the mother has to move with the 3 children to this little house out in the countryside, and nearby there is a train station. And they become obsessed with going down to this train station, looking at the railway line, watching the trains go by, and they get known as the Railway Children. We've just had a new character brought in who is actually a passenger that's been on this train, and it's basically the children communicating with this old man on the train as he goes past. I don't know, I think it's going to be absolutely brilliant, this book. It has potential to be a 5-star read because I just think I'm so surprised by how much I'm liking this. So yeah, it definitely has potential. So I'm going to carry on reading now. This evening I need to do a food shop, and then I just want to have a chill. So maybe I'll get some more reading done afterwards, after I've done a food shop and we've had dinner. So I shall see. But yeah, just wanted to give a quick update because I am enjoying this very much so, which is a very nice, pleasant surprise. Hello! So, very quick reading update. I had to be quick because I have to head out the door in a second. I have finished The Railway Children. 5 stars. Okay, this is a children's classic, but I think anyone can read this. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can read this. It's, yeah, absolutely superb. So we're following 3 children. They were quite wealthy. Basically, the dad goes away. And the mother is left distraught with the 3 children. I won't say what happens to the dad, but yeah, the mother is distraught. She's left with 3 children. They end up quite poor. They go and move to a cottage out in the countryside, and it's right next to a railway line. And it's basically about these 3 children's adventures near to the railway line, which obviously is very dangerous. You wouldn't have that happening now. But yeah, it's the people that they meet. It's a bit of a story about looking out for your neighbours. I don't know, it's just such a lovely story, and every single character is just wonderful. And or if there is a character that's not so great, then they kind of redeem themselves. It's all of that sort of thing. It's just a very lovely story and just very well done. I don't know, I just absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. It did take me a little bit longer than I thought it was going to read, because the writing is actually quite small in there. So even though it's only like 170 pages, it kind of did take a bit longer to get through just because the writing was so small. But I did absolutely love it. I've given it 5 stars because I just have to. I feel like I have to. I don't think I ever read this when I was a child. I don't remember reading it. I obviously know the story a little bit. I knew that it was about 3 siblings and their adventures. I knew that. But there's just so much more to it. And there's so many quotes that you could take away from this. And I don't know, it was just, I just absolutely loved it. I really did. So I'm going to start next, Girl, Woman, Other. I have the audiobook of this as well. So I'm going to be listening to it on my walk to work. So I'm walking to work now. So I need to get going because I need to pack my bag and head out the door. So as I'm walking to work, I'm going to be listening to this. And then when I'm at work and do some of the bits that I'm doing today, I could be listening to this as well. So I think it's going to be mainly the audiobook. I'm going to be doing this book for the first couple of days anyway. Well, today anyway. So yeah, but now I need to get ready and head out the door. Hello. So, little reading update. I am 113 pages in to Girl, Woman, Other. I've read the first chapter, which follows 3 females, 3 women. I believe that each chapter follows different people. So in this first chapter, we're following Amma, who basically worked as an actress in the theatre, or playwright as it were in the theatre. She meets Dominique in the theatre, and they are both very headstrong. They are both feminists, and they both have the same beliefs and things, and they're both standing up for their own rights, and both very headstrong females basically, and obviously click straight away and become very good friends. And they, if I remember rightly, they set up their own sort of company within the theatre, and they work together. And we're also following Yaz, who is Annan's daughter. Amma. Where the fuck Annan from? Amma's daughter. She's when we see her as a teenager, and we're kind of seeing her and her friends, and we're seeing a bit of like political sort of thing in her chapters, because we're seeing, they talk a bit about how Muslim women had to deal with, well, Muslims in general, to be honest, not just the woman, how they had to deal with the aftermath of 9/11 and how they were treated out on the streets. And so we're seeing a lot of that. So I believe, like with Yaz's chapters, it was more focusing on the racism, the political side of things, and that sort of thing. With Annan, we have the situation. Why do I keep saying Anna? Amma. I do apologise. It's Amma. I mean, it's close to Anna, isn't it? So yeah, with Amma, we are seeing how she dealt with life back in the day, when they were basically told that they couldn't play certain roles because not only were they black, but also because they were female. And that's why her and Dominique kind of set up this almost business type of thing within the theatre to basically be like, black females, black women can play other parts, not just the slaves or the cooks or those sort of parts that they were always given in the theatre. So yeah, with Amma, we are seeing how it was back in the day when she was starting out. We also see a lot about her character. She sleeps with a lot of women. So Yaz basically is a product of her sleeping with this man who was actually this gay man, but he has beliefs which both Amma and Yaz do not believe in. And Yaz is kind of estranged from her father. She doesn't really have anything to do with him because of his beliefs, and because he's against gays, he's against a lot of things. Okay, he's very homophobic, he's set in his ways, and yeah. And we're also learning as well what Amma believes, like, you know, how her own parents were as well. And there's a lot that we're kind of learning about these characters. And the last part is Dominique. So Dominique was the lady that worked with Amma, and she meets this woman and decides that she's going to move to America, and they basically build houses for women that lives in this community. It's very cult-like, I'm not gonna lie, it's very cult-like, and they live in this community. No men are allowed. They don't even allow straight women to go. And you basically see how she deals with domestic violence and how she is cut off from everyone around her. And we're seeing her story, basically how she's dealing with domestic violence. And each story, they have, you know, it has a meaning to it. We're learning things about these three black women and how they are trying to get about in the world, and you know how they do have it hard. There's different timelines, as it were, because we are seeing obviously Amma. I keep doing it, don't I? I don't even know why I keep doing it. So we keep seeing Amma when she was younger and how she was dealing with the situation. We're seeing Yaz more of like the now time as a teenager, and how her and her friends are having to deal with situations. And then we are seeing something a bit different, but with like Dominique, we're seeing like domestic violence. So all three are basically black women trying to get by in both England and America. So yeah, there is obviously a lot of talks, like political talks as well. There's a lot about racism in this. There's obviously triggers for domestic violence is going to be in here. So there is a lot that we're learning about these three women. But I don't know, I think this is a really good book. I like how it's separated. So we've had those three characters. We're now going to have some different characters. Now, the one thing is, I started this by audiobook. So as I walked to work this morning, I had about half an hour where I listened to the audiobook. And then one of the tasks that I did this morning at work was I was able to listen to the audiobook whilst doing that task. I mean, the rest of the tasks I couldn't because I had to focus on those tasks. But there was one task which went on for about an hour and a half, I think, or an hour, where I was able to listen to the audiobook at the same time. And then for the last half hour or so, I've been reading the physical version. In the physical book, the writing does take some time to get used to. It's a very bizarre way that it's laid out. The layout is a bit strange. I'm sure there is a reason as to why it's been written like this. So it does take some getting used to when you're reading the physical format. So I'm really pleased that I listened to the audiobook first. I kind of got into the story, got into these characters. I really like all three characters that we've seen. Well, I mean, Yaz is a bit, I mean, she was a bit of a tearaway, kind of like, yeah, she basically had her mum, Amma, under the thumb, and she's not very nice to her mother. I mean, so yeah, Yaz is a questionable character. I don't know whether you could say that she's a nice character, but definitely Amma and Dominique. I like those two characters, and I like how headstrong they were and how they weren't afraid to just stand up and say how they felt about, you know, certain injustices towards both women and in particular black women. So yeah, I don't know, I'm really enjoying this. I really am. It's obviously the sort of book which I wouldn't say there's like a massive storyline, as it were, because obviously it's like different chapters, and then the different chapters are split into 3 parts, and they're all about different people. So I'm guessing at the end it's all going to come together, because the chapter 5, it just says the after party. So I'm guessing they all end up coming together. But the next chapter is following Carol, Bunny and Letitia. So 3 completely different characters. So yeah, maybe it all comes together at the end. I'm not sure. It's mainly following just different people. I think there are a couple of male characters in here, maybe. No. Look at the names. It doesn't look like it at all. Yeah, I'm keen to see. Yeah, I am keen to see how this is going to play out, because I don't think all of the characters are, it says here mostly women, mostly black. So obviously not all of the characters are going to be either like women or even black characters. So yeah, I'm keen to see how this plays out. Yeah, because obviously completely different characters from different walks of life. So yeah, I'm enjoying it anyway. This has been like a really difficult summary of this reading update. I've gone on for like 10 minutes like chatting about this book, but I just feel like this is a really strong start to a book. Like, I'm invested. I'm keen to read some more. I'm going to continue reading now for about half an hour, the physical, and when I'm walking home I'm gonna switch back to the audiobook. But yeah, it's going well so far. I'm really liking this, although it is, you know, taking some time to get your head around like the writing style, and yeah, there's just a lot packed in, and it's like you know these people, it's like you know these characters yourself, and the descriptions is superb. You can like vividly see these people, and it's like you actually know them. It's just really cleverly done. I like it. So yeah, I'm gonna carry on reading this, and I will see if I get this finished by the end of the week. I don't know if I will get done by the end of the week. I mean, I have got half an hour walking home, half an hour walking to work tomorrow. Usually on a Friday, Paul comes and meets me, so I won't listen to it on the way home, possibly on the Friday tomorrow. We shall see. But yeah. I don't know whether I will get this done. I might have some reading time. I might be able to read some in the car when we're off on Saturday, because we've got like it's like an hour and a half car ride, so maybe I could get some done then. I don't know. It's quite a thick book, so I'm not sure whether I will definitely get it done by the end of the week. We shall see. It's like 460 pages. We'll see, but I am enjoying it so far.
He doesn't like him.
Yeah, everyone's down there trying to take a photograph of the sun and that. I'm like, get on the end.
You're okay, you're let off the hook.
How'd you get on Goodwood? Yeah. You alright? Yeah. Everyone made it there, everyone made it back.
Bloody thing when you're doing your wheelies.
Yeah, we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He picked up that light as well. And he said it was a really good photo. Really good photo.
Hello, so I thought I'd just come on here with a bit of a reading update because I'm about halfway through. We've met another two characters. So we've got Carol, and we basically see her go off to university, and she kind of stops her life as Nigerian. She kind of forgets about her true self and to basically just fit in at this university, which is full of just posh people. So you kind of see her changing who she is to try and fit in. And then we have her mother, Abumi, who when she was young had to deal with witnessing when her father passed away, the family of her father take away the land that was technically meant to be hers and her mother's, and having to migrate away and get away quite quickly. And then you basically learn about how her mum would do absolutely anything. She worked in a very laborious job with machinery, and when she finds herself on her own, she has to go and live with an aunt, and her aunt kind of treats her like a slave, and it's not great. She doesn't have a great life, as it were. I mean, so we do see her point of view in life as well, and her story as well, which I think is quite good. But you kind of see that Bumi is this woman who is very proud to be Nigerian, and she sticks to her Nigerian roots. So she can't understand why her daughter Carol is basically becoming very British. She's taking on a lot of British mannerisms. She's speaking very British. She's basically just disregarding her Nigerian roots. And Bumi is finding it very difficult to deal with. And we're kind of we've seen both of their lives. It's a mother and daughter. We're following Carol first, and then Bumi. With Carol as well, something happens to her when she's 13, which kind of paves the way for how she is as she goes through life. So yeah, I think it's every single character has something horrendous that's happened to them in their lives, which has kind of made them the person that they are now. Sometimes it makes them stronger. Sometimes, it's not a great life to lead. And I just think that the author has done such an amazing job at having 12 completely different characters and being the voice for 12 very different people. And we're kind of just seeing the injustice of it all, and how each of these people is trying to cope in a society where they are the minority. And I don't know, the author has just done such a fantastic job. Really done a fantastic job. I'm definitely still very much enjoying this book, so I'm about halfway through it now, and yes, I've just gotten to a point where we're now seeing a completely different character, Letitia, whose father left when she was about 12, and she's got like a lot of resentment, a lot of hate. So yeah, 12 very different characters. So we are now on to the 6th character, and we're just about halfway through the book. And yeah, like I said, this author has done such an amazing job at creating 12 very different voices. And I just think, yeah, it's amazing, like how this is written. So I managed to listen to some more of it on my way to work this morning, that I haven't been able to read or anything like that. Obviously I was working today, my colleague was there, so there was no reading happening. We were actually doing work. And then this evening Paul and I went down to Sandbanks and we got some dinner out and had just a very nice evening. Went into my parents as well, so saw them for a little bit. Also down Sandbanks, and yeah, we ended up being out. It's now gone 11. I think it's like 11:15. But I've just had like 20 minutes of just reading a bit more of this because it's the sort of book that I keep wanting to pick up, and I wish I had more time to pick up. So tomorrow we are up early, getting ready, and then we are heading over to Surrey. So 2 of my friends, it's their birthdays, so we are going, we're basically getting together and having a barbecue for their birthdays, and that'll be nice. We're seeing some friends. And Sunday I might try and read in the car journey, possibly, we shall see. Try and read in the car journey up there. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, other than that, probably another bit of reading happening tomorrow. But on Sunday I am going to be working in the garden. I've got a lot to do in the garden, so I think that I will listen to the audiobook whilst I'm doing some gardening to see how much further I can get with this. But I'm absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. I don't think I'm going to be finishing it by the end of this vlog, so it's probably going to go into next week, but we'll see. But I just wanted to give like a little bit of an update because I'm like the 6th person. I'm about halfway through, and I thought now was better time. Than it's a really close up. I do apologise, but I'm just holding it in my hand at the moment, the camera, and I look very sleepy because I am feeling very sleepy. So yeah, I'm gonna feed the cats, sort out Bruce the rabbit, and then get some sleep because up early tomorrow to get ready. Got one to the shop as well, and then we're heading off at like 11:30. So yeah, but I did want to just give a bit of a reading update on this because yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I think the author has done such a fantastic job. I don't know if I said this before as well actually, but there has been an interview with the author where she basically said that she was trying to experiment, because I think she has written other books as well. She wanted to experiment with different writing style. I believe this one's called like fusion fiction. Is it called fusion fiction? Basically it's like pretty much a free fall if you ask me. So the writing is very different to your standard typical novels. So although it does take a little bit of time, like a little bit of getting used to, once you've got into the writing style, it's actually okay, and it flows, and it's actually really good. So yeah, I like the fact that the author is obviously keen to try different things and yeah, do a writing style which isn't the norm, and I like that. And also I just think that this writer is obviously superb to be able to have 12 different voices, and each character is so different. They're their own unique person. So I'm absolutely loving this. I'm finding it fascinating. I mean, obviously there's some very hard topics. Like I've said before, I think check your trigger warnings with this book. There are a lot of hard topics, like just heart-wrenching topics. But you just get so invested with these characters. You just get to know them so well that I just think, yeah, it's just making me just really enjoy. I was going to say like the story. There's not really like a storyline because they don't, I mean, obviously some of the characters are connected in some way, but you're seeing their own individual story. So yeah, it's not really like a plot line as such, but I'm just absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. So I wish I could just have a weekend of just reading and finishing this, but I suppose Sunday or some gardening, yeah, it should be fine. Obviously when I'm like lawn mowing, I'm not going to be able to listen to it or strumming, but after doing those bits, there is quite a lot of reading at the front that I need to do, and I want to sort out quite a lot in the back, so I should have plenty of time to listen to the audiobook whilst I'm doing those little bits. So yeah, it's just a very good book, and I'm very much enjoying it, and I just think it's just a superb read. So I just wanted to give a little bit of update, but I'm going to sleep now, and yeah, I'll take you along tomorrow as well. Hello, I look like an absolute mess. It's very warm today, and I have just spent 2 to 3 hours gardening, and I'm very tired because we didn't go to sleep until about 2 o'clock this morning, and Jeff, one of our cats, woke us up quite early still. So yeah, very sleepy, but I managed to do some gardening and then rewarded myself with reading a bit more of my current read. So yeah, I can't even think straight at the moment, but I just wanted to come on here to wrap up this reading vlog. It's been a very busy week. We've done quite a lot of really nice things. We've gone, you know, for like an evening walk. We've spent an evening down at Sandbanks. We've gone to barbecue with friends yesterday to celebrate 2 of my friends' birthdays, and one is who I've known since I was 4, so we've known each other 30 years now, and we worked it out yesterday and was like, wow, that's a long time to still be friends with someone, 30 years. And the other one I've known since I was 13. We started secondary school together, and yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time. That's like over 20 years. So yeah, we all kind of like had this like realization when we talked about it yesterday. But yeah, it was a lovely day, and then in the evening I left there and went into Southampton to go and watch the Tyson Fury fight with my best mate and his girlfriend, and then obviously Paul was with us. So it was a really nice evening as well, but it was obviously a very late one because the fight did go on for the full 12 rounds. Plus it started a bit later than it was first meant to, and then there was like some music before the fight actually happened, and yeah, so we ended up not leaving Southampton until nearly 1 o'clock, and then getting home and having to sort the cats out, sort of rub it out. It was a late night, and then today we had a very chilled morning, just stayed in bed pretty much all morning. Started a new TV series, Barton, which seems to be, we watched the first episode, it seems to be quite good. And yeah, then went for some lunch down Barton Cliff Top, and excuse me. And then, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and then obviously did some gardening. I've not read much this afternoon because it's only been like the last, not very long, well, yeah, not very long I've been reading, but I wanted to wrap this up. Then I'm going to shower because, yeah, I put loads of sun cream on and then I mowed the grass. So, yeah, I had like bits of grass stuck to me, but it is what it is. But, yeah, this week though, as well as doing lots of fun, cool stuff, I also finished 2 books and made good progress with another. So first of all, I finished The Islands by Catherine Cooper, which is very much a storm cutting off a bunch of people on an island, and then some of them start dying, and there's obviously a murderer amongst them. They've all got secrets, very much like a locked room mystery, but set on an island instead, and set in the Maldives as well. The setting was superb, and there was a lot that I could love from this. It's definitely a good book for reading at the pool or on the beach, but there was some bits lacking for me. I ended up giving it 3 stars, so not a bad read at all, but not something that kind of blows my mind type of thing. Then I read The Railway Children by Nesbit, which is a classic following 3 children who were very wealthy, and after something happens to their father, they have to go and live in the countryside with their mother, and they end up pretty much poor. And it's their adventures that they take on together and the other people that they meet. And it's just a very lovely book. I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved this book. And then I made good progress in Girl, Woman, Other. So I'm listening to it via audio and reading it physically. So I'm doing both audiobook and physical book with this one. I would definitely recommend the audiobook. The physical book does take some getting used to because the writing style is very different to your normal novel. But I'm absolutely loving this. I think it's 5-star potential. We're following 12 completely different people, and the author is really good at giving 12 completely different voices, and yeah, it's just absolutely superb. I'm absolutely loving it, and we've met some brilliant characters already. They're mainly women, they're mainly black, and it's basically their lives in Britain and how they cope living in Britain. It's set across different timelines as well, kind of thing. We've got one which is in the 1980s, one that's in the 1953s. We've even got 1905, 2008, 2017. So across a whole timeline of like a whole, like loads of different dates basically. But we're following the lives of them, each of these different characters. I haven't obviously finished this yet. I kind of feel like they're all going to be tied somehow together, and there's going to be some sort of plot to it with it all tying together. Obviously, at the moment we're just basically going between each character, learning their whole life story, what's happened to them that's made them the way they are today. But it's just done absolutely superbly. I absolutely love it. I'm guessing it's going to be a 5-star read because, yeah, I'm loving it so much. But, yeah, 3 very different books. We've got like a thriller. I don't know what you would class this as, probably like a literary fiction, maybe, I don't really know. And then a classic, more children, but I think anyone, any age, like adults can read this. So yeah, 3 very different books, but it's been a brilliant reading week. It's been a brilliant week in general. The weather's definitely got a lot better as well. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here, wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching, and I definitely will be back very soon with another video. Bye.